Venezuela sits on more oil than any country on earth. More than Saudi Arabia, more than Russia, more than the United States. Yet today, its economy is in ruins, its oil industry crippled, and its political future uncertain. Now, Donald Trump says he has a plan to seize President Nicolás Maduro, a plan to place Venezuela under U.S. control during a so-called safe transition, and a plan to unlock Venezuela's vast oil reserves using American power and American oil companies. But can the United States really take control of Venezuela's oil? And even if it could, would Trump's plan actually work? Tonight, we examine the facts, the risks, the money, and the geopolitical reality behind one of the most controversial oil ambitions in modern history. Venezuela holds an estimated 303 billion barrels of proven oil reserves, the largest on the planet. On paper, that should make Venezuela one of the richest nations on earth. But reality tells a very different story. Despite its enormous reserves, Venezuela produces less than 1% of the world's oil today. This dramatic collapse didn't happen overnight. In the early 2000s, Venezuela was producing more than 3 million barrels per day. Today, that figure has fallen to around 860,000 barrels per day. The question is, how did a country so rich in oil become so poor at producing it? The answer lies with PDVSA, Venezuela's state-run oil company. Under President Hugo Chavez and later Nicolás Maduro, the government tightened control over the oil industry. Thousands of experienced engineers, managers, and technicians were dismissed or forced out. Political loyalty replaced technical expertise. Over time, infrastructure decayed, refineries broke down, pipelines corroded, and maintenance simply stopped. According to energy experts, much of Venezuela's oil infrastructure was later looted, dismantled, or sold off. This wasn't just mismanagement, it was institutional collapse. In 2015, the United States imposed sanctions on Venezuela, citing alleged human rights violations. Those sanctions intensified under later administrations. Oil exports were targeted. Foreign investment dried up. Access to spare parts, equipment, and financing disappeared. While sanctions aimed to weaken Maduro's grip on power, they also cut Venezuela off from the global oil system. Today, even basic repairs to refineries can take years, simply because the parts aren't available. As one commodities analyst put it, the real challenge Venezuela faces isn't oil, it's infrastructure. Donald Trump believes the solution is American intervention. He argues that U.S. oil companies could rebuild Venezuela's oil industry, fix its infrastructure, and restore production, while also generating profits. In Trump's vision, U.S. firms invest billions. Venezuela's oil flows again. The U.S. gains energy leverage, and Maduro is removed from power. But experts say this vision underestimates the scale of the problem. Not all oil is equal. Most of Venezuela's reserves consist of heavy, sour crude. This type of oil is thicker, contains more sulfur, requires complex and expensive refining. By contrast, the U.S. mostly produces light, sweet crude, which is cheaper and easier to refine. Extracting Venezuela's oil requires specialized equipment, custom refineries, massive capital investment, and none of that happens quickly. Even if Maduro were removed tomorrow, oil companies would still face enormous risks. Any firm operating in Venezuela would need legal contracts with a new government, guarantees against future nationalization, confidence in long-term political stability. That's a risky gamble. Oil giants like ExxonMobil and ConocoPhillips are still seeking billions in compensation after their assets were seized in the 2000s. For executives, Venezuela isn't just risky, it's a legal minefield. According to economists, the answer is simple: not anytime soon. Even if Venezuela returned to peak production levels, it would still sit outside the world's top 10 producers. OPEC plus countries already produce more oil than the world currently needs. As one chief economist put it, the world is not suffering from an oil shortage. Any meaningful impact on prices would take a decade or more. Chevron is currently the only American oil company still operating in Venezuela under a special license. It accounts for roughly 20% of Venezuela's oil production. Chevron says it is focused on employee safety, legal compliance, limited operations. Other major oil companies have remained silent. Behind closed doors, discussions may be happening, but publicly caution dominates. Reviving Venezuela's oil industry is not a quick win. It would require tens of billions of dollars, years of rebuilding, political stability, legal guarantees, and enormous patience. As former BP CEO Lord Brown warned, people underestimate how long these things take. While Venezuela's oil remains a massive prize, the road to unlocking it is long, expensive, and deeply uncertain. Trump's plan may sound bold, but in reality, it faces obstacles that no single administration can overcome overnight.